Hi, Brad Gulchin here from Markezing. We are inbound agency that works with accountants only. One of the tools that we use with HubSpot is Cradle. In all of my demonstration, I explained that how HubSpot is your single ledger for all your communication. And one of the main communication as accountants that we have is with the telephone. So we call our clients call us, and that communication is very important for us. Especially at this age, and when we talk about robots and AI taking over, you want to have more of that human connection with your client. You want to talk to them and relate to them, and that's the most important part of your relationship with the client. So having Cradle having API, very deep API with HubSpot, it will help you to keep those communication and keep that single ledger of the communication. So I have with me James from Cradle. Hi James. And can you explain to us how this integration works, and then after that we can do a demo and see how it works in real life?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I think it's a good place to start is by saying that HubSpot is a fantastic tool for getting a single view of the customer. But one of the things that we recognized early on that they don't have is the ability to have inbound and outbound calls all brought into HubSpot so that you actually do have a true single view of that customer. So Cradle is like a full phone calling service, if you like. We can give you numbers, we allow you to make and receive phone calls, but then we bring your HubSpot contacts into Cradle so that you can see who's calling, you can see their name, you can quickly launch into that single view with one click of a button, and hopefully answer the phone with the context that you need to be able to help the person who's calling you.
Cool.
Once the call's over, we also push all of that information back into HubSpot so that you can see when you've called people, how long you've spent on the phone, and under certain circumstances, you might even be able to have recordings. For example, voicemail can automatically be pushed into HubSpot so that you can really have a good understanding of how well you're interfacing with your customers.
Cool. And obviously this works all over the world. It's not obviously a Kiwi company, but it would work in Australia, US, UK, everywhere in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to make it so that any business can service their customers no matter where they are. And that was indeed a frustration that we'd had in previous businesses in the past. So getting the right person on the phone, whether your customer's in Alaska and you're in New Zealand, or your customer's in Australia and you're in South Africa. So we can easily spin up numbers for you in any of the markets that you service, provided in some markets you need a presence there, but New Zealand, Australia, the United States and Canada, South Africa, the UK and Ireland are all countries that we can easily help you get started in.
Cool. And as far as the using the Cradle, obviously you have a desktop app and you have a mobile app, so it doesn't matter which device they connect to, it all goes to HubSpot and records it there?
Yeah, absolutely. So all phone calls that come through the Cradle system can be put into HubSpot, whether you answer them on your iOS, your iPhone or your computer. They're all saved straight into HubSpot.
Great. Do you want to just demo us how that's going to show in HubSpot and how it works, and the benefit of receiving call on Cradle when you have HubSpot as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's receive a phone call here and show you exactly how it works. So this is obviously me. I'm sitting in front of my computer and the phone's ringing. So I'm receiving a call from Max, and I can see various pieces of information here.
So those are HubSpot information that comes from HubSpot?
Absolutely. So you can see before you even answer the call what company that person works for. And this here is the lifecycle stage, which we're also pulling in from HubSpot. So if it's a lead, an MQL, an SQL, or sort of any one of those other lifecycle stages, you can see that before you answer the phone. Once you've answered the phone, you can click on the name of the person and that launches their HubSpot record directly. So you don't have to look them up, you don't have to ask them what their name is, their company, their account. You can just click on them and immediately begin having a contextual conversation with them.
Cool.
So we can see previous phone calls that, obviously this is with Max, who I tend to call quite a lot to test various things, but if you had your emails and your meetings and any other notes that you'd made in here, those would all be immediately available on the timeline in HubSpot.
And obviously it's from anybody in your company that calls that person, so it's not just you, so that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, so it's not just limited to your interactions. Anyone in your whole company their records will be safe and here against
So,
that
for
person.
example, if a client called me and say, I had a chat with one of my staff, and why it hasn't happened, I can go see when that call has happened as well,
Absolutely.
which is one of the valuable parts. And when you have a single ledger for all your communication. One of the other things that it helps a lot is when you receive a call from a new lead that it's not on your database. And these day and age, usually the reception receives the call, you're busy, they're going to write it on a post-it, and they might be very good on email. You say, okay, please call this guy back. So how does it help with that sort of situation? I believe you can basically create a record right there, and then when somebody calls you and they're not there really.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can almost give you an example here as we speak. So earlier in the day, I made a phone call out to this particular number.
Yep.
So it's just an Auckland number. Now you can do this during or after the phone call, but you can click here and add the name and the email address of that contact.
Yep.
And that will immediately add them into HubSpot and then save the phone call after the end of the phone call.
Yep.
Now, if they're already one of your HubSpot contacts, we just update those contacts so
Yep.
that it keeps your record, your one source of truth up to date. And if they're not in HubSpot at all, it'll add them into HubSpot for you.
Yeah, and also you can create a task for the person who needs to call back that person as well, which makes it so easy.
Yeah, so that leverages some of the power of automations and workflows that are in HubSpot, and so you can automatically have tasks set as you've alluded to.
Cool. We're going to do another video about workflows because that's another word on its own, and the magic that you can do with workflows in HubSpot and Cradle, it's amazing. So I strongly suggest, if you're interested, watch that video as well, which comes in our YouTube channel. Is there anything else you want to add, James?
No, look, I think there's so much to talk about. We are really excited about what HubSpot and Cradle and indeed Xero can do together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll leave those for other videos.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.